The human species and its survival have always been associated with caves. Throughout the history of civilization, caves were linked to many myths and legends. Several ancient cultures believed that caves led to a world of the dead, where the souls of their ancestors rested or toiled in agony. During the Middle Ages, courageous adventurers probed the depths of the underground, leaving their names inscribed as evidence of their bravery. In Europe, notable accounts of cave exploration and research began to be published in the 18th century. In the 19th century, their frequency increased, with many of these articles, books, drawings, and maps still impressive today for their precision and beauty. Some of the most extensive explorations occurred in Postojna Cave, Slovenia, which opened to tourism in 1818. During the 19th century, such exploration also led to the development of modern scientific studies in fields such as cave archaeology, paleontology, and biology. The exploration techniques and distances reached underground deserve respect and admiration, even by today's standards. In 1885, Edouard Alfred Martel began his underground explorations. His enthusiasm in discovering the deepest caves of this time appeared in his writings, which proved his talent in communicating about science and soon brought him international fame. In his 1894 book, Les Abîmes, The Abysses, Martel established a name for the scientific study of caves: speleology. Speleological societies were established between the late 19th and early 20th centuries in several countries, beginning mainly in Europe. Cave exploration, or caving, now occurs on all continents. The Industrial Age gave cave explorers and scientists the advantages of better materials and equipment for cave exploration. Many books and manuals about caving techniques and equipment began to be published in the first few decades of the 20th century. Wooden ladders and jute ropes were replaced by aluminum ladders and steel cables. The first underwater explorations in caves were recorded. It is impossible to list the multitude of individuals of that time who contributed to the development of speleology. However, one thing is certain: speleology became a scientific discipline that brought together researchers and explorers from various fields and interests, who often dedicated their lives to exploring and studying caves. After the Second World War, several initiatives led to the creation of an international speleological organization, the International Union of Speleology, or UIS. The first steps took the form of an international meeting in 1949 in Valence-sur-Rhône, France. Representatives attended from Cuba, France, Great Britain, Greece, Italy, Spain, and Switzerland. Organizations in Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, the USA, and Yugoslavia sent their support, but were unable to send delegates. Those present agreed unanimously that the first International Congress of Speleology, ICS, should be organized in Paris in 1953. The second ICS was held in 1958 in Bari, Lecce, and Salerno, Italy. During the first and second ICSs, the idea of an organization for international speleology was born. In 1961, the third ICS took place in Vienna, Obertraun, and Salzburg, Austria, where the creation of an international speleological organization was formally discussed. Yugoslavia was accepted as the host for the fourth ICS. At that time, Europe was politically divided into Eastern and Western blocks of countries. Many cavers and scientists couldn't travel to countries on the other side of the Iron Curtain. Yugoslavia was a member of the non-aligned countries, which allowed cavers from all countries to participate in the Congress. The opening ceremony of the Fourth International Congress of Speleology was held on September 12, 1965, in the dance hall of Postojna Cave, in Postojna, Yugoslavia, modern-day Slovenia. This Congress was a major event for many speleologists who contributed in the previous years to the organization of an international speleological union. In the opening ceremony, representatives from the political authorities of the Republic of Slovenia were also present, as well as 366 speleologists from 26 countries. 23 countries were represented at the Congress by official delegates, and by their decision, the UIS was founded. The first statutes were approved, and the first bureau elected. Bernard Gez from France was elected the first president of the UIS. The first two vice presidents were Gordon Warwick from Great Britain and Stepan Mikulek from Yugoslavia. Albert Anavi from Lebanon became the first Secretary General. The UIS was organized as a non-profit organization which promotes the development of relations between speleologists and cavers of all nationalities, with the goal of coordinating and developing the scientific, technical, cultural, and economic aspects of speleology. The UIS is composed of member nations, each represented by a delegate. The collection of delegates is the General Assembly, which gather every 4 years at the ICSs to govern the UIS. The General Assembly elects the UIS Bureau at each ICS, which includes the 4 officers and currently 8 adjunct secretaries. The Bureau administers the daily business of the UIS between Congresses. The closing ceremony took place in the festival room of the University of Ljubljana on Thursday, September 16, 1965. The Fifth Congress was held in Stuttgart, West Germany in 1969. Hubert Trimmel of Austria was elected as the new Secretary General. The General Assembly adopted the first international regulations for the UIS, and its logo a stylized U to represent union. Trimmel is believed to be the artist, but sadly, the artist is unknown. At this 5th ICS, the UIS Bulletin was also approved to provide information about the activities of the UIS and its commissions. Despite the political division of Europe, the UIS stood for United Speleology, and in 1973, the 6th ICS was the first one behind the Iron Curtain in Olomouc, Czechoslovakia, now in the Czech Republic. A new bureau was elected, and Arrigo Signa of Italy became the new president. The 7th ICS returned to Western Europe in Sheffield, England in 1977, where Arrigo Signa became the first re-elected president. The General Assembly of this Congress granted the title of Honorary President to Bernard Gez, who had been the first president and one of the founders of the UIS. Until this ICS, the Congresses had been mostly formal events on science and exploration, but here the tradition was established to include the full range of speleological interests. Sheffield was less formal and offered sessions on equipment and techniques, as well as the first cave rescue demonstration at an ICS. Not all UIS history occurred at the Congresses. The International Journal of Speleology had been published independently since its first issue in 1964. In 1978, through the initiative of President Signa, it became the official journal of the UIS. The first 7 international congresses of speleology alternated between Eastern and Western Europe. In 1981, the 8th ICS was held outside of Europe for the first time. Organized in Bowling Green, Kentucky, USA. This was a great opportunity for cavers from Europe and the Americas to exchange their experiences. Adolfo Eraso from Spain became the new president as the new UIS Bureau was elected. Most significantly, the Federation of Latin American and Caribbean Speleological Associations, FAOC, was organized under the auspices of the UIS, with the full support of the new UIS president. Many cavers from Europe also remember this ICS for the opportunity to visit Mammoth Cave, the longest cave system in the world. After the USA, the ICS returned to Europe. The 9th ICS in Barcelona, Spain, was late by a year and held in 1986. Derek Ford from Canada was elected president. For the first time, the Spelemedia Film Festival was organized and prizes were awarded for the best speleological movie presented during the Congress. Following this Congress in Western Europe, it was time to meet in another country behind the Iron Curtain. And the 10th ICS was held in Budapest, Hungary, in 1989. The election of the Bureau saw another first for the UIS, when Hubert Trimmel was elected president, making him the only person to date to serve as president and secretary general. Replacing him as secretary general was Camille Eck from Belgium. Spelemedia became a standard part of the ICS in Hungary. The 11th ICS was the first organized in Asia, in Beijing, China, in 1993. In the years since the 10th ICS, the Iron Curtain fell, and Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union, and Yugoslavia were split into multiple countries. These changes meant the loss of some member nations for the UIS, although 12 countries became new members: Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Czech Republic, India, Lithuania, Russia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. Paolo Forti of Italy was elected president, and Pavel Bosek of the Czech Republic Secretary General. The distance to China made it difficult for many from Europe and the Americas to participate. In contrast, the 1997 12th ICS in La Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland, had 1,763 registrants from 52 countries, the most for any ICS to date. This Congress was a step into the digital age, where the operation and organization were fully computerized for the first time. The UIS Code of Ethics were approved unanimously by the General Assembly and published in the UIS Bulletin. Julia James from Australia became the UIS's first woman president. Stands with books and equipment for sale had become an integral part of each Congress. Speleolympics, athletic competitions not in caves, where cavers could test their skills, were introduced. The organizers of the 12th ICS established high standards for the organization of future congresses. UIS stepped into the new millennium in 2001 with the first ICS in South America and the Southern Hemisphere. This 13th ICS was hosted in Brasilia, Brazil, and attracted 465 participants from 41 countries. Sessions and lectures were enhanced by superb multimedia presentations. Spelemedia included some 20 films whose quality and production showed constant improvement with each Congress. Congress exhibits continue to grow too, ranging widely from speleological equipment to souvenirs, quality presentations by individual speleological associations, and book promotions. Speleo art also attracted a great deal of attention, displaying sculptures, paintings, and photographs thematically linked to speleology. The Congress ended with Brazil's José Ayrton Labegalini's election as UIS president. On June 22, 2002, the Slovenian government, through its Academy of Arts and Sciences, signed an agreement establishing the UIS's official headquarters and permanent office at the Karst Research Institute of Slovenia in Postojna. On the right side of the main entrance of the institute is a bronze plaque with the UIS logo. The UIS office stores the physical archives of the UIS, a veritable history of the organization, revealed in the hundreds of letters and emails exchanged by the presidents and secretary generals over the years, as well as in the minutes of the Bureau meetings and the drafts and originals of the official documents of the Union. Throughout its history, the UIS has supported speleological events. The biggest was the Cave Expo that opened in 2002 in Samchuk, Republic of Korea. This unique fair was dedicated to all aspects of speleology. Never before had it been possible to see in one place so many different exhibits related to the study and exploration of caves, from models of life-size caves to geological, paleontological, and archaeological artifacts, all to educate visitors about the world underground. Cave Expo remained open for a few years and enjoyed more than 1.5 million visitors. The new millennium also saw the UIS increase its close relationships with other organizations that share UIS's goals, such as the Balkan Speleological Union, European Speleological Federation, International Geographical Union, and International Show Caves Association. The UIS also increased its sponsorship of regional speleological congresses and symposia, such as the Middle East Speleology Symposium in 2001, 2006, and 2011, and various international speleology camps. The preparation of the 14th ICS had some difficulties, which were solved with the help of UIS Vice President Andy Evis. Held in 2005 in Kalamos, near Athens, Greece, this Congress included many good presentations, lectures, and speleomedia films. Andy Evis of Great Britain was elected President, and Fadi Nader of Lebanon was elected Secretary General. Secretary General Nader started working together with members of the UIS Bureau and an international group of cavers in a new way, in the spirit of the UIS Code of Ethics, by organizing 3 UIS international speleological expeditions. The first expedition was in Tanzania, Africa, in 2004 through 2005. It was designed to train and support cavers who wish to organize speleological activities in their countries and to better explore and protect their caves. The second expedition was organized to Central Asia. The International Speleological Expedition to Iran took place from September 23 to October 6, 2008. The main aim of the expedition was the basic training of some 39 Iranian cavers, including exploration on the surface and underground, basic speleological equipment, single rope techniques, cave surveying and mapping, and cave photography and videography. Expedition trainers included cavers from Belgium, Croatia, Iran, Lebanon, and Switzerland. This expedition paved the way for the development of modern caving techniques and organization in Iran, which became a member country of the UIS in 2013. The third international UIS expedition took place in Lebanon in 2014, a country with a long history of speleology. The objective of this expedition was to raise awareness and protect the breathtaking and endangered Karstic Plateau. Participants came from Croatia, Iran, Lebanon, and Turkey, who explored and documented more than 70 caves. The 15th ICS was the first time a Congress had been held twice in the same country. It was located at Schreiner University, where almost all the university space was available for Congress sessions, exhibits, camping, and parties. Map, photo, and art exhibitions had great halls for presentations. One building was dedicated to the sale of speleological books and equipment. In the gymnasium, cavers of all generations could test their skills in vertical caving techniques. Once again, the USA cavers proved themselves great hosts and organizers. The Congress opened with the UIS flag raised for the first time and closed with Andy Evis and Fadi Nader re-elected as President and Secretary General. It had taken 35 years, but official UNESCO recognition for speleology as a science and the UIS as its representative had finally become a reality. The 16th ICS was held in 2013 in Brno, Czech Republic. The Czech cavers put a lot of effort in organizing this Congress, which was noticeable in every detail, from presentations to trips to exhibits, and a wonderful surprise firework display at the end of the Congress. Kyung-Sik Woo of the Republic of Korea was elected president, the first from Asia, to lead the UIS to the 17th ICS in 2017 in Sydney, Australia. The UIS does not represent speleological associations or local or regional organizations. It represents all cavers of the world. All cavers are the UIS, and the UIS is all cavers. Therefore, it is impossible to mention all speleologists who contributed to the establishment and development of the UIS and speleology in general. This film is dedicated to all of them as a tribute to their 50 years of exploring and protecting caves as part of the UIS, the International Union of Speleology.